This morning, we are delighted to have a guest speaker from our sisterhood. Renee Glazier is going to share some words of Torah and what inspires her. Welcome to the Bima.
Growing up, my synagogue and its sisterhood were very important to my parents, and therefore I attended Shabbat and holiday services regularly and got to help with sisterhood. I remember well the weekly Friday night onyx Shabbats prepared by my mother and other sisterhood women. Oh, what yummy pastries I got to eat after services. As I grew older, I had less of a connection to sisterhood. But I remember my mother wearing some very pretty pins, a new one each year. At the time, I really didn't know what these pins represented. After I got married, my husband and I joined the synagogue. And of course, my mother made me a member of Sisterhood. My sister became Sisterhood president, and I brought my young daughter with me to her installation. I was home busy with my children, so I didn't really get too involved in Sisterhood. But I did take the position of Jewish Holidays Chair, where I wrote about every Jewish holiday in our Sisterhood newsletter. One day, the president called me to chair the big fundraiser, the donor luncheon, which took place in November. I was overwhelmed, but I did say yes. In the fall, my youngest child, my son, got croup and was hospitalized. I was running to the hospital daily and taking care of my 3 daughters, and truly I was not concentrating on the donor luncheon. But the Sisterhood women came forward and took on many of the responsibilities, and not only was my son home and doing better, but the donor luncheon was a huge success. So when the nominating committee asked me to serve as Sisterhood president, I said yes, in gratitude to those women who came forward to help with the donor luncheon. I changed the board meetings from daytimes to evening because a young mother or a working woman can't easily attend daytime events, and I learned more about the workings of Sisterhood. It was then that I researched this thing called Torah Fund. I knew my mom and other women wore pins and others were buying cars. To me, I thought the Torah Fund was a fund to buy Torahs. For whom and why? I didn't know, but I found out that the Torah Fund began in 1942 as a scholarship fund, and in 1963 merged with the Matilda Schechter Resident Halls campaign, providing housing for undergraduate students, future rabbis, cantors, educators, and Jewish scholars. In time, the campaign identified needs and raised funds for specific projects, including the Women's League Education Pavilion, the Women's League Seminary Synagogue, Matilda Schechter Residence Hall renovations, Goldsmith Hall, the Resident Hall at American Jewish University, JTS Quadrangle, JTS Library Bookshelves, and the Schechter Institute for Jewish Studies Garden. I learned that the different pins that my mother wore, she wore them because she made an annual $180 contribution to Torah Fund. Originally, there was one seminary that educated conservative educators and leaders, the Jewish Theological Seminary in New York City, that I visited when my mother and several Women's League for Conservative Judaism women were honored for their role in supporting Torah Fund. Today, there are 5 worldwide conservative Masorti institutions of higher learning. In addition to the New York schools, there is the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies in Los Angeles, California, from which our own Rabbi Husband graduated. The Schechter Institutes in Jerusalem, Israel, the Seminario Rabbinico Latino America in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and the Abraham Joshua Heschel Seminary in Potsdam, Germany. Anyone can donate, usually through your local sisterhood. In essence, Torah Fund is a crucial fundraising arm that connects the donor with the future of conservative Judaism by investing in its education, infrastructure, and leaders. Several years ago, our sister raised money for Torah Fund at annual events and by selling Torah Fund cards. But I'm sorry to say that this is no longer happening. Our sisterhood is not only a vital organization at Agudath Achim, supplying funds and support for many worthwhile causes, but also it is a place where Jewish women can learn, support each other, and grow Judaically. Our sisterhood is a member of Women's League for Conservative Judaism. I have served on their board for many years. There are 13 regions. Each region has its own board of directors and provides services, conferences, and consulting. Agudath Sisterhood is a member of the Intercontinental region, which is spread out over 2 million square miles and has over 2,200 Women's League members. These women represent 22 conservative congregations in Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas in the United States, 2 from Canadian provinces, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and 2 from Mexico City, Mexico. Each region holds a spring conference annually. Recently, that conference was held here in San Antonio, and we at Agudath hosted a meal and an event here. Women's League will have a convention this summer, which all sisterhood members are invited to attend as delegates. I hope that some of you will be there. I have been an active member of Women's League since I was the sisterhood president. I was a region president, national vice president, and chaired or served on many committees, including the Consultants Committee. I credit my sisterhood and Women's League involvement for taking this once shy person and enabling me to feel more confident and willing to take risks that I would not have done previously, like standing up in front to deliver a sermon, as today. I hope that the Sisterhood Women of Agudath Achim will not only begin again a Torah Fund campaign, but will also get more involved in Women's League and utilize its services to make this sisterhood as great as it can be. I have been a member of Agudath Achim and its sisterhood for almost 13 years. I get it. This is my bat mitzvah year. So for my bat mitzvah, I ask each one of you who are members of sisterhood to think outside the box and involve our sisterhood in more projects such as Torah Fund, and ask those of you who have not yet joined the sisterhood to do so, to get involved by speaking up, sharing ideas of future programs and projects that we can undertake together, enabling the Sisterhood of Agudath Achim to grow in size and support in the years to come. And I thank you all for being here today to celebrate Sisterhood Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Renee asked me to share just a brief message about Torah Fund. I can honestly say there's really no other organization that supports rabbinical students like Torah Fund does. When we used to get our balance statements from the office at Ziegler, there would be actually a line item at the bottom that said a part of our tuition, which was already paid for Torah Fund. And when Genevieve and I lived in campus in Los Angeles, when we would exit our apartment, there was a big plaque, and it was all of the people from Torah Fund who had contributed to building that particular building. And lastly, in rabbinical school, I got asked to speak at a bunch of Torah Fund lunches, and they'd always say, we can't pay you, but we could give you food. But when you're a rabbinical student, when you're a poor rabbinical student like I was, you'll go to a Torah Fund lunch, brunch for lasagna, for whatever. So I spoke at many a Torah Fund lunch. So as I'm standing here, I can really think, not only did they sustain me from through school, but they also housed me and they fed me. So for those of you who contribute to Torah Fund, Yeshua Koyach, thank you, because really, a moment ago you said, I thought it was a fund to buy Torah as well. Not quite, but when you support rabbinical students, you support the Torah that we will eventually give. So I know Rabbi Kaplinsky and I are ever really grateful for all the support that you've given. So Yeshua Koyach, thank you very much.